How important do you think your peer group was to you in those days for you being a success? And, you know, was that a driver within your career?
The main driver. It was everything. I could see that Michael Green, at quite a young age, was achieving a hell of a lot. He floated his company, shares went mad, and then he started doing deals, expanding the company. He was in the newspapers. Charles Saatchi, the same thing. And I was still, you know, working sort of with my father and making losses and quite well off. I wasn't struggling in any way, but I wasn't becoming a superstar like them. So I wanted to be like them. So, you know, that's one of the reasons that I got rid of my father, because I wanted to really drive the business. I wanted to be the boss. So yeah, I mean, early on they were enormous. When I say get rid of my father, I put I made him chairman and I was managing director before then. He was chairman and manager. So I didn't do him in or anything like that. And he made a lot of money.
I knew what you meant then, but I guess some people who haven't read your book and don't know the whole story probably wouldn't have known what you were talking about.
No.
But he was, you know, you basically felt that a lot of you didn't feel that the business was progressing with him. And I think he'd got quite poorly. He'd had a fall or something, and he would say quite inappropriate things to people at work, and it was having a negative impact on the business at the time.
And you could let things roll on, because after all, we still had 130 shops. We weren't starving. We were going nowhere. We were sort of also rans as far as anyone was concerned. But you know, there's a lot of companies, family businesses that are like that. They're not ambitious. They don't care. As long as they make a reasonable living, they just let it carry on. So I could have allowed that to have just gone on and on. But because of Charles and Michael, to a certain extent, I felt that I didn't want that status quo anymore, that I was bored with what was going on. Also, the catalyst was H. Samuel, who, of course, we were to acquire later on, tried to acquire us. So there was a danger there that I'd lose my job altogether. So, yeah, I suddenly, at the age of 34, made the move, told my father that he has to give way, which I didn't really have the support of the board, but I said to him that I did. And then when I went to the board, I said that he wants to resign, which was not entirely true, but, you know, there's loads of stories like that in business where people tell little white lies to achieve what they want to achieve. Brewdog, for instance, they started up their company, they couldn't raise any cash, and they went to a bank and said that we've just been offered a big loan by the people across the road. If you're prepared to beat it, we'll go with you. And, you know, this goes on all the time. And I think if you play everything by the book, you'll get nowhere. So I achieved what I wanted to achieve, and was take control and change the business dramatically overnight. Really put a huge amount of energy into it, changed all the products, changed all the marketing, and it was hugely successful, which allowed us to acquire all our competitors basically in the UK.
Yeah, what's really interesting is you reinvented yourself after your demise, so to speak, but you also reinvented the jewelry business itself, more accessible to the lower income, people on a lower income and the working class. So it was kind of jewelry that they would go out and buy to go out on a Saturday, Friday night, and rather than jewelry for life.
That's
and that hadn't been seen before within the jewelry business.
No, jewelry was a once in a lifetime purchase. It was a province of the rich, like air travel used to be, or going out to eat. People, working class people, places like Liverpool, Newcastle couldn't afford to buy jewelry at all. But gold actually is very pliable, and if you a little piece of gold, you can roll out from here to Edinburgh. So we used gold in a totally different way, which is basically used less of it. So the earrings that we sold and the chains and stuff were much lighter, and much cheaper. And we promoted them in a big way over the more expensive products like diamond rings, put them in the front of the window, offered them at very low prices. And then again, it's important that your surroundings, if you're selling at low price, your surroundings are not too posh. So we pulled up the expensive carpet and pulled down the chandeliers, threw out the velvet pads, played pop music, and people are much more comfortable, especially young people, coming into a jeweller's than they ever were, because I always felt there was what I call a threshold barrier in them walking into the shops, terrified that they were going to be forced to spend a lot of money. So this completely changed all that. It was scorned upon by the other jewellers who thought we were degrading everything. But as I said, it was hugely successful. In fact, we were taking more money in our shops than any other retailer in Europe per square foot, which was quite neat. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have made a joke about that, but I never, ever. In fact, in that same speech, you'll be absolutely shocked to hear that I said that we've achieved what we achieved by selling high quality products sold by high quality staff. I mean, that's on the internet, my whole speech. But we do this sherried account of it. So, but I was totally misquoted. But as I said, I'm not blaming anybody. You know, that's I shouldn't have used that word crap at all. But we wouldn't have got to 50% of the jewelry market by selling crap. Nobody's ever done that. It's totally impossible. Especially young people who've got very good eyesight, and unless the claw's holding that diamond, and that diamond is beautifully sparkling, they won't buy it. They'll buy it all on looks, and you won't sell anything unless it's the highest quality. In fact, when I took it from my father, first thing I did was close the factory that we had that was manufacturing diamond rings for the shops. And that factory, in my view, was not producing quality jewelry in any way. And they were very lazy because they had a customer that would just buy everything that they said because they made because we owned it. So I closed that down and told the buyers they could buy from whoever they liked. So it was absolutely imperative that we had the highest quality. And that is the irony of the stigma that we then had after the speech. But again, probably my fault.